Alright, so we are obviously in the car. Time has not permitted us to do what we needed to do in the house. We one place to the next, but we in the whip. The Flex is the illest whip ever, right? Today we want to talk about something that is it's a thing that people don't normally think about when they do end up getting married. We're talking about family, and I don't mean the family you're marrying, and then I'm gonna marry my wife, I'm gonna marry my husband, and then we are going to have a family. That's not what I mean. What I mean is your parents, your sisters, your brothers, aunts, uncles, all these people that from birth up until you got married, grandparents, all of that. All of these folks who have been your center, who have been your core. Well, now God is asking you to replace all those people with your spouse. God says the two have become one. Alright, so you're no longer joined to the hip of mommy or daddy, mom, dad, pawpaw, or granny, or you're no longer joined at the hip any longer, right? That's why in a wedding ceremony, dad gives daughter away. He's giving over responsibility to the husband now, right? So, and that can be a difficult thing, right? That can be a difficult thing to move from that one place to the next place. So,
and it was for me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you felt. Like, what happened? What do you remember happening when we first got married, as far as that's concerned?
I was raised in a household of mom, dad, and 3 girls. And dad was the breadwinner. And the statement of daddy's girl was very true in our household. All 3 of us were daddy's girls, period, point blank. We loved our dad. He was the center of our world, and we were daddy's girls. Well, me being the first one to get married, I didn't know what it looked like to leave my family. I didn't know what it looked like to actually separate myself from what I knew as family to creating my own family. So, growing up, even in my teenage years, if something was wrong with the car, I called daddy. If I needed money, I called my daddy. If something was going on at work, or I needed help or rescuing, I called my daddy.
I remember that being an issue for me.
So that is all I knew at first. Yes, I was an independent female. I strongly believed in getting my own house, my own car, working a job, and having my own money. That I strongly believed that. But if I found myself in a bind, I would call daddy. So after getting married to Jesse, breaking that was kind of hard for me. I still felt like I needed to call daddy when something happened, because like I said, not only is that what I was used to, but that was my daddy. That was the man in my life when nobody else was there.
And that was frustrating to me. I'm gonna cut you off, but that was frustrating to me because I felt like I'm gonna give all. I want to give all to my wife, and my now daughter. Now I have a daughter, right? So I want to give all to my family. I want to be there when they need me. And when you did call dad, it was like, wait, what am I here for? You know what I mean? And I felt like I was, and to put it in a strong way, like I felt like dad was the husband, and I didn't know where I fit in. at that point, you know.
So I remember the first couple of years of our marriage. When I got off from work, I went to Daddy's house. When I was hungry, I went and ate at Daddy's. He kept our oldest daughter for us, and so that's where I ended up every day after work was over there. And I remember Jesse feeling a certain type of way if I said, oh, I already asked my dad, or oh, I told Daddy to do it, or Daddy's coming over to do this or do that. I remember the look that Jesse would give me and the okay that Jesse would give me. And I could see the hurt all over his face. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going. I remember seeing the hurt in Jesse's face when I didn't include him, I didn't ask him, I didn't acknowledge him. I just went to Daddy. And Daddy was always the fixer. And I believe my dad, because I was the first one to get married, I believe Dad also had a hard time with letting me go. I was his oldest daughter. I was his firstborn. You know, he named me. I was his girl. His girls was his girls, but I was his girl.
Everybody in this situation needs to be afforded that learning curve.
Yes. And I believe I was the guinea pig. Dad had to also learn how to let me go, and I believe that was a hard step for him.
So I feel like that put stress on me and your dad's relationship, because he didn't know how to let go, so to speak. And you know, you were the first, like you said, to get married. So again, like I said at the beginning, that he, you know, that's you and your sisters, you know, were his core, and obviously your mom, that was his core. So he's gonna have a hard time dealing with that. And again, like the strain that I felt between us, I feel like it was in somewhat due to my own self, some of my own issues, but I also feel like, you know, the situation itself put strain on our relationship. What do you feel about how it put strain on, like, you? Or did you feel like you were maybe being pulled in, you know, two directions, like a rope, two people pulling up the rope?
I felt like I was being pulled in multiple directions. I had a husband that was pulling at me, wanting me to be his wife and to depend on him. I had a daddy who was pulling on me, wanting me to still be his little girl and still want to feel needed and wanted. I had sisters pulling at me who did not quite understand. They were looking at me to be an example and a role model, and I had already messed that up once and I wanted to do it right, but they didn't want me to leave them. They were very selfish and I mean that in the best way. I get what we were a tight-knit family.
You guys are very close.
Yes.
Very close.
And I mean, I'm selfish even now. Like, my friends are my friends. I'm working on it, but my friends are my friends. My family is my family. And I want everybody to myself. I've told multiple people that's just me. But my sisters are the same way. They did not want to share me with anybody. So I was feeling the pull there. I had a church that was pulling at me, wanting me to do things that I wasn't ready for, wanting me to be an elder, which I mean, I loved the fact that they looked at me that way. I just didn't feel like I was ready. But I was helping with this team and over this team and was on this team, and I was pulled in so many different directions, trying to fill so many hats and so many roles.
I remember those times like it was yesterday. It was difficult. It was difficult for everybody, and I think that's another one of the reasons why the statistics are so bad for marriages, because when you marry someone, you're marrying an entire family, and that entire family has to learn how to adjust and adapt to the new change, the new person. But I recall those times being extremely stressful. I remember, getting on the phone with I remember getting on the phone with, people and just kind of spewing my heart out. Like, man, I feel like I'm being neglected as a husband, which is in a way selfish, and in a way I was just, showing my true emotions.
Yeah, I didn't look at you at all as being selfish. I just feel like everybody was just trying to find their space, find their role, and figure things out.
Yeah.
But we went through it for a good little minute. Probably the first year, maybe year and a half. It took some time. It took some growth. It took some prayer. It took some counsel. It took a lot to get us through that. But once I finally realized, I went back and looked at my dad and who he was in my mom's life. And I said, that's who Jesse is supposed to be in my life. Like, I didn't see my mom calling on her dad. Maybe she did in the beginning. I don't know if she went through this or not. But I remember my dad doing everything for my mom. And when it finally clicked that that's who Jesse was supposed to be for me.
And I was trying to be.
Yes.
Did you feel that? I was trying
most definitely. Yes, that's what helped me to change, is seeing the hurt that I was causing you.
Yeah.
By not including you, not even talking to you about what I was going to my dad about. Because maybe even then you could say, I can take care of that, or I can do that, or I got you. I was just running with it. And yes, you were definitely trying to be that. But when that light bulb clicked, when that switch flipped, I knew I had to separate myself. Let daddy be daddy. He's done his job. Let him realize he's raised some good girls. And let Jesse be my husband.
Again, it's not easy when that's all you've known for 20 plus years of your life. That's your comfort zone. Daddy, mommy, sister, brothers, that's gonna be your comfort zone. So for me, it was a little different and a lot easier to transition into, hey, I'm married now. This is where I'm gonna be spending most of my time. I feel like that was because me and my family weren't as close-knit as you guys were. And not that we didn't love each other, not that we didn't, don't care for each other, not that if you screw around with one of us, you won't have to deal with the other ones. But we just had a different type of relationship. Just as loving, just as caring, but a different type of relationship. But it was easier for me. It's like everybody understood. All right, well, this is what's happening. And I was different too. Like, I was that guy that was just, I'm a loner. I've been a loner forever. Lone wolf, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do my thing. And so it was a lot easier for my family to adjust and accept that.
And also, you had 2 older siblings that were already married.
Yeah.
So you were a third. I believe it got easier
Yeah.
as my sisters got married too.
That's another stark difference between the two. So it's different for every family. What would you say was the number one thing that helped you to move on past, to move on and say, hey, I was married now?
I just really had to, I don't remember what the scripture, where it's at in the Bible, but the scripture that says you leave your parents and you cleave to your spouse really became true. I had to do some research, do some reading, do some soul searching, and really had to set aside everybody else's feelings because, you know, I'm a people pleaser. I didn't want to hurt my sisters or hurt my dad. I knew my mom kind of understood, but I didn't want to hurt anybody. And, you know, I just had to put their feelings aside and say, I was married now.
I think I'm happy the way things turned out. I'm happy that we didn't give up in that strain. It was a strain. It was a struggle. I'm very happy that we are past that. And
I gotta interject something.
Oh yeah.
Not trying to toot your horn or put you on a pedestal, but you also helped a lot. You taking the reins, you providing for the family, you cooking, cleaning, taking care of the girls, doing the yard work, making sure the car is clean. It actually gave me a relief in knowing that you could handle it.
Yeah.
So that helped out a lot.
Well, we were trying something new in the car. Sorry the audio is so jacked up, but we felt this was a very important topic that we wanted to get to talk about, and we were hoping that the story would be something that you guys someone could relate to, right? And just know that, no, it's not the end of the world. And yes, your husband or your wife now is, aside from God, the center of your universe. And so I hope that story's inspiring. I hope you're still working. I hope you guys are not giving up. Hope you guys are making strides. A house is built, not anymore, 1 brick at a time. You know what I mean? So, but like 1 stick at a time, 1 stud at a time. Anyway, layer by layer, make this thing work. Love you guys, and we thank you for rolling with us today. We will talk to y'all next week.
Bye.